In this video, we're going to talk about Amazon S3, one of the very first but very important services that AWS offers related to storage. Before we get into the technical terms and details of Amazon S3, let's take a step back and look at why it's such an important service. Think about it. Almost every application, every business, and even individuals like you and me need a reliable way to store data. Sometimes it's just a few files you want to access later. Sometimes it's massive amounts of information that needs to be available to millions of users across the world. Maybe you want to share files with your team or archive important records for 10, 20, or even more years. On the other hand, you might be dealing with huge data sets from gigabytes to terabytes or even petabytes, and you want the system to scale with you without breaking a sweat. Now imagine trying to solve all of that the traditional way, like buying hardware, scaling up every time your needs grow, worrying about backups, worrying about security, and then still not knowing if your data will survive a disaster. That's a huge challenge, and that's exactly what S3 was built to address. Amazon S3 was released back in 2006, making it one of the very first AWS services. Since then, it has become one of the most widely used and trusted cloud services across industries, powering websites, mobile apps, media platforms, backups, analytics systems, and so much more. If you look around, chances are that many of the applications you use every day already rely on S3 behind the scenes. So, in simple terms, S3 is Amazon's object storage service, built to give you durability, scalability, and security for any kind of data you need to store. How? S3 stores your data as objects inside buckets. A bucket is a top-level location or namespace that you create in your AWS account to hold your data. And an object is any single piece of data that you put in it, like a file, an image, a backup, or even a log entry. You can group objects using prefixes. You can attach tags to your objects for management or billing purposes. And you can apply access policies at the bucket or object level to secure them and many more things that you'll learn throughout the next videos. S3 is generally engineered for extreme durability, designed to protect your data with 99 with many nines. That's 11 nines of integrity. In other words, your data is more likely to survive in S3 than you are to win the lottery twice in a row. And on the other hand, S3 gives you virtually unlimited scalability. You can add as many as objects and files as you go on without hitting any limitations. From a usage perspective, S3 is not like plugging in a hard drive into your EC2 machine and you don't mount it as a disk. Technically, it is possible, but it is not common and recommended way. Instead, you interact with it in three main ways. Through the AWS Console, the web UI, if you just want to drag and drop files. Through the AWS CLI, which is command line, which is handy for scripts and quick operations. And most importantly, through APIs and SDKs in your application. This is how developers integrate S3 into systems, automating uploads, downloads, or data processing. For a social media platform, for example, when a user uploads a video, the application can programmatically send it to an S3 bucket through the AWS SDK and then fetch the stored data whenever needed for user playbacks. Okay, we've only scratched the surface here. There is much more we need to talk about, and we will cover all of that in the upcoming videos. But for now, please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.